Hi, my name is Stephen Thane. I serve in the Idaho State Legislature, and welcome to Straight Talk with Thane. What I'm introducing is a 4-part series on Reclaim America. Hope you enjoy it. Welcome back to Reclaim America Part 2. This presentation is going to talk about the relationship between 3 important sectors of American society: the government, the family, and the private sector. Each has specific responsibilities and roles. The private sector's role is to produce and create wealth. It's the engine of production. All wealth is created in the private sector. There's job creation, that's where our standard of living comes from, and wealth is continuously created by work. The government, on the other hand, has some different responsibilities and roles. They too are important. Government punishes crimes that are against people and against property. Government punishes fraud. Government also regulates the private sector by establishing weights and measures, establishing a monetary system, and other similar functions. They also provide for the national defense. Government, however, is not a very effective producer of wealth and does not do so in our society. Government does consume wealth, and thus must be small relative to the size of the private sector. The family is different than the other two players in this play. The family is the low-cost institution that creates human beings needed and used in the private sector and by government. The work of the family is to create responsible, hardworking, caring, moral, compassionate, independent, productive individuals, and only the family can do so. Also, the family is the low-cost provider of social services, and this is important. They provide child care, food, housing, education, elderly care, and medical care. So, the market produces material wealth, the family creates human beings and provides low-cost social services, and the government punishes violence against property and people and provides a framework. So if we viewed this as a triangle with the government at one corner, the family at the other, and the private sector at the other, I've listed the 3 responsibilities. And the size of government relative to the family and the private sector is important also. The government, because it does not create wealth but rather destroys it, does not need to be very large. It needs to be small. It needs to be a limited government. The family, on the other hand, needs to have a large impact, and so does the private sector. The current system does not look like this at the current time. The role of the family has decreased, and the private sector is smaller, and the role of government is currently too large. So government must be small. Since it destroys wealth, government growth in the 20th century has come at the expense of the family, taking family responsibilities and family incomes. And we know when we look around us and look at the budgets, the government social programs are very expensive and have placed a burden on the family and the private sector's ability to produce wealth. It's draining off too much wealth. Just to give you an idea of the numbers, 73% of the Idaho State spending is on social spending, and 58% of federal spending is on social programs. So if we look at a little review of the nature of entitlements and what they do, they provide food, they provide housing, medical care, education, retirement, and child care, which is interestingly the exact same thing that families do. So families and entitlements compete. They perform the same tasks. They compete for the same resources. In fact, government takes resources from healthy families as their funding source, thus weakening healthy families. The weakening of healthy families creates more dysfunctional families. And it's very important to note that family-delivered social services are very cost-effective. So let's give an example. Preschool education takes place in a variety of settings. One of them is in the home, and another is in Head Start. Home-delivered preschool education services from a healthy family are at zero tax expense, whereas Head Start costs $7,000 per child. In the K-12 education, a homeschool child has zero tax expense, whereas the public school cost of educating a child is between $7,000 and $12,000 per year. And even when we look at food preparation, if it's done in the home, it's at zero tax expense. If it's provided through food stamps, it can cost $6,000 or more per year. So we basically have a situation where we're deciding if we should use the family or government. Everyone agrees that not all families are healthy, productive, or self-sustaining. Those in favor of government programs argue that the government needs to help these families by giving them assistance. This is like giving a person a fish, but not allowing them to have a fishing pole. Current government assistance has kept people in a state of perpetual servitude. What we need to be doing is try to create more productive families. What program out there is trying to create more productive families, and why aren't we doing it? Since everyone agrees that not all families are healthy. So here's the choice: increase the number of healthy families or grow the size of government. America's choice: will we grow the capacity of families and reduce the size of government, or will we continue our present course and destroy the economy, the currency, and the government? So to learn more on how to grow the American family and balance the budget and grow the economy, tune in to Reclaim America Part 3.